Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. Today's program, we're talking Relay for Life, and we're talking a very special edition because it's a Suffolk Relay for Life event coming up on Friday, May the 19th. We're going to have all the details on how you can take part. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene, joined now by two very special guests to talk about a very special topic and a very special event happening here in the city of Suffolk in mid-May. We're talking about the Relay for Life, which again benefits the American Cancer Society. And join us to talk about this event and the American Cancer Society and what they do here in Hampton Roads. We have Tara Asare, who is the community manager for Relay for Life, and Dana DeFrew, who is a co-event lead for Relay. So ladies, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right, so the big event coming up May 19th.
Yes.
It's going to be at Nancy River High School, but for those who have never been to a Relay for Life event, I'm going to give you both a chance on this one. Talk about what takes place. I know it's really kind of it's definitely a community event, but it's kind of like a fair. There's just so many little, well not little, a lot of things going on in a very small area, but it's a lot of fun, and I know that's the big emphasis. And of course, the other good thing is it's raising money for a great cause. So let's talk about Relay.
You want to go?
Well, I like to describe it kind of like a big fair. There's teams that come and set up tables. There's tons of different activities going on, and you kind of pay for food and games and entertainment. There's bands that are going to be there, and we have tons of people coming to do really fun stuff. So I like to kind of describe it as come, bring a few dollars, and just come ready to have a good time. It really is so much fun.
Yes.
One of the things that I see with Relay is it's a big celebration, and what we do is we are celebrating our survivors, we're celebrating our caregivers. It is a huge way for all of us to get together in the community and show support for them, because we will have a survivor lap for them, and one for our caregivers. But it's a great way for the community to come together and celebrate them. The Luminaria ceremony that we have, I think it's at 10, it's going to be at 10. If you've never been to a Relay, that is a very emotional and impactful ceremony that we have during Relay, where we light the bags, the Luminaria bags, and we have torches and things that are lit, and we have bagpipes that play, and we have that moment of silence and that lap of silence as we remember or honor those that we've known that have cancer.
Now, for people who go, okay, this all sounds great, how do I participate? I know you mentioned teams and the fact that you can participate as a team, and I guess I would ask, is it too late to get your team together? And also, can you participate as an individual? Say, for example, you don't have that team to link to. How can people take part, whether it's as a group or individuals? How does that work for Relay?
Well, as far as getting a team together, it's never too late to get a team together.
Never.
We always want people to participate. And signing up is pretty easy. So as far as signing up, you can participate in a team or as an individual, either one. We're happy to have you either way. So it's really simple. You can either go to www.relayforlife.org/SuffolkVA. And from there, it's a really, really simple registration process. ACS works with making it as easy and user-friendly as possible, so even people who may not be so techy can sign up, and it really takes like 5 minutes.
Perfect.
And there's paper registration forms as well that you can find online and print and get. But it's really easy to sign up online. So in terms of signing up as a team or an individual. So if you have, a couple of people, whether it's at your workplace, family, friends, whatever kind of group it is, that's a great time to register as a team, because you have tons of people that can stand by. You guys can do fundraisers and figure out ways to kind of raise money and work together at the Relay event. But as far as signing up as an individual, it's the same process as signing up online through the website. You just wouldn't join a team, and you can still come out to the event. You can still fundraise. You can still do everything that.
And we have things that go on at Relay that we need volunteers for, like registration or to work under the survivor's tent or to man different things that are going on. So if you're an individual and you're not attached to a team that's out there doing a campsite, you can come to us and say, where can I go do some work for you? And we can fill them in where they can be used for registrations
and I think that's where it really ties into that community aspect of this, because really it's everybody coming together to serve, to do their part. Whether again you're walking or whether again you're helping out as a volunteer, there is something for you to do and some way where you can take part and again give back to the community in this very special way. Now, the goal for this year's Suffolk Relay for Life, what is the dollar amount you're hoping to achieve through the event?
I think the goal was $200,000.
$200,000. Okay, so obviously the fundraising for the groups and the people have already really begun, is well underway. But everything I know kind of culminates with the Relay for event. But what does that money go to? So the money that's raised there, when you talk about the American Cancer Society, and I think we all kind of know what you do, but tell us a little bit about what the organization does to help people in a variety of different ways.
Well, ACS is such an amazing organization. I think it benefits it in a multitude, people with cancer in a multitude of ways. Not only does it benefit people with cancer, it benefits people who have been affected by people having cancer or whatever the case may be. A lot of our money goes to research, and that's grants given directly to people who are coming up with ways to cure cancer, which I think is the most important thing, because at the end of the day,
Yes.
we're hoping for a cure.
Of course.
So research, a lot of it goes to our programs that we have. We have tons of programs, nationally and locally that it affects directly. Support, information, advocacy. We have a 1-800 number that's 24/7, and people can call whether they've been diagnosed with cancer, a family member has been diagnosed with cancer, and they just literally don't know what to do.
Correct.
They can call that number and get help anytime. They can even call that number if they need help registering for Relay.
Right.
And the reason that number is up and running is because of the funds that we raised from
Exactly.
Relay for Life and stuff like that.
Now, the event on the 19th at Nansemond River High School, how is the venue going to be set up? I mean, how do you utilize the space that's there? I know the track obviously plays a very important part in the walking element, but you talked about kind of the carnival or the fair aspect of things. How is the venue going to be arranged? How does that fit
as
together?
you come in, it's going to be, I don't know, for those that have been to Nansemond River, you walk through the ticket booth.
Right.
And the stage for the bands is going to be down at the other end by the goalposts.
Okay.
So that brings that everybody can come in and walk the track and see everything that's going on.
Sure.
But our teams are set up at what we call campsites. And so they're next to each other along the inside of the track.
Okay.
So as you go around the track, you'll see all these activities going on. Some will be doing raffles, some will be doing kids activities, face painting. We're going to have a food court. We're trying to kind of keep all the food in one area.
Sure.
So we'll have a food court down at one end. We have lots of activities going on this year. Something new that we're doing is the knocker ball. So I don't know if you're familiar.
I was going to say, what is that? You got to
Knocker
tell us.
ball, if you've seen, they're like these big blow-up balls that people get inside of.
Got it.
And then they, battle
collide.
each other and all that.
Right,
yes.
right.
So they've actually started a team, and they're going to be out there.
Very good.
7 City Dinos. He's coming out with the dinosaur suit and
cool.
a fossil dig.
Yes.
So all kinds. It's very family friendly,
Right.
and everything is set up around the track. So as you're walking the track, you're able to talk to everybody. You're able to see what's going on. It's a community. That's what I see.
Now, when does everything start?
6 o'clock in
6
the
o'clock,
evening.
okay.
Yep. If you're a team, you can start setting up at noon.
Okay.
We want you done by about 5, and then the event itself starts at 6.
So again, you have kind of an opening ceremony to kind of kick things off.
Yep.
And then you had mentioned earlier the fact that there are certain special laps that are set aside. If you could talk a little bit about those and really the significance of those.
All right, so we kick off our event, of course, with the opening ceremony.
Right.
And then we have our survivors, which is the main focus of our event.
Yes.
They do their opening lap. They go, and their caregiver usually walks with them. And then after that, we're going to have EMT, or our first responders lap. So
very good.
Anybody who's an EMT, a police officer, fire and rescue, anything like that, we will have a lap specifically for them as well. We will also have a veterans lap or a military lap. So anyone who's a veteran, military, feel free to come out and we'll honor you with that lap. So those are the main ones that we will start out with. But that's what opens up our program.
Got it. Kind of kick it off to really pay tribute to those who are involved, like you said, on the levels that you are. And you mentioned as far as care providers and the fact that sometimes we, not to discount, because certainly the person suffering with cancer
Right.
is the focal point there. But the fact of the impact as well on care providers, be it family, friends, whatever, the medical community as well. I mean, I think sometimes we maybe lose a little focus on them as well and the impact that it has on
Absolutely.
them, especially unfortunately when we lose someone to cancer, the fact that they're the ones carrying on and still left with that situation. Just talk about, from both your perspectives, kind of how the outreach is to care providers and the connection your organization makes with them, ACS.
Well, I think that the biggest impact it has on caregivers, and I can say this from a personal experience, having seen it, is it's just support. I mean, you go out to this relay event and everyone is there raising money and just being there for the same thing, and that's a cure for cancer. And you can look at someone and talk to them, and you know that they maybe have been through the same thing as you, or they'll understand exactly what you're going through.
Sure.
And I just think that sense of support and that sense of people being there for you is wonderful. It's like amazing, and I think it's amazing to come together as a community to have that.
Sure.
And we're going to have a little something there for them.
Right.
For our we have a special garden that's going in for our caregivers.
Nice.
We don't want to say anything until after our survivor reception, because the survivors will actually get the first opportunity to participate in that, and then out at the event we'll have something set up for the caregivers. But yeah, we're going to have a little something for them too.
Very good. Now, Dana, talking before we started taping, you talked about the fact there's a very special dinner that's coming up relatively soon. Can you talk a little bit about that and who can participate?
We actually have a survivor reception. It's put on at the Planters Club. This will be the second year that we've done it away from the relay event itself. We have it catered. We have some entertainment, some background music going on, and we have door prizes for our survivors. We have gifts to give them. It's just a night to shower them and focus on them, and them not have to do anything but sit back and have a good time.
Right.
And it is the 10th of May.
Okay.
So it's the week before relay.
Got it.
It's at the Planters Club, and I know that some of the survivors might see on there that there was a deadline to register. There is no deadline at this point. If you're a survivor, you can bring a caregiver with you to this dinner. Call us and we'll register you, because we want to make sure that you get in there.
Right. Now, I would say, I know we have a little bit of time left to go in the program here, but I would like to pitch again to both of you to what you would say to someone who maybe has not participated in a Relay for Life event before, for whatever reason. They may be finding out about it for the first time. We know where it is going to be in Suffolk here. But to get someone to step up to take part, whether it is the fundraising, whether it is volunteer, whatever aspect they can give their talents, if you will, to the event. But just to say, look, if you're thinking about it, here's why you should pull the trigger, so to speak, and get on that online form or make that phone call and get signed up. I'll offer to both of you to kind of.
You're my recruiter.
I'm your recruiter.
So what would you say?
Well, listen, I come from a family where we've had cancer impact us in a lot of ways. I have an aunt who's a 20-plus year survivor of breast cancer. I have a sister who's a 7-year survivor of ovarian cancer. I've lost a cousin to pancreatic. I've lost a grandmother to lung. So instead of focusing on one particular area of cancer, I do Relay for Life because it covers all of them. And it not only focuses on the cancer side of it, but it also focuses on the caregivers, and it focuses on a lot of aspects as far as health and wellness. If you've never done a relay, come out and feel the feeling that you get. It's not just coming out, it's how you feel when you're out there. When you've got someone standing next to you that has had cancer or is in remission or going through chemo, and they see the community come together, that just uplifts them and it gives them hope. And that's what we want to do, is provide that hope.
Right. Tara?
Well, same with what she was saying. I mean, I think that in order to really feel it, you have to just go to one, because it's so hard to explain to people. I mean, we try our best. We have our speeches. We can tell them all the details they want. But at the end of the day, you have to go to really see. I first started relaying when I was in college, and I went to my first relay ever. I was on like the committee there, and I didn't really know what it was. Like, people said Relay for Life, and I was like, oh, a marathon or a run. Or
Everybody thinks it's a run.
People think it's a run, but it's something so different. So when I experienced the event, I was like addicted to it. As you can see, I'm working for American Cancer Society. So I just loved everything about it. I really did. And like I said, I think the best way is to experience it. But also, I mean, just giving it a try as well, whether it be coming out to the event or volunteering, knowing that, I mean, this is a completely volunteer run event, and I think that's what makes Relay different from any other charity or whatever out there, because it's completely ran by volunteers. And yes, they do have a staff partner just to kind of keep them on goal and stuff like that, but again, like,
keep us in line.
Keep them in line. But my event leads do the majority of the work, and the ELT do the majority of the work, and I think there's a beauty in that people from the community are volunteering to make this huge event happen.
Now, when it comes to the fundraising aspect for the actual relay event, you talked about the fact that some of the teams that are out there, excuse me, have events and little things among their own group.
Right.
But really, what the crux of it is people getting donations per lap. Correct? To do
no, actually there is no donation.
Okay,
no,
all right.
No donation per lap.
Got it.
Basically, you're coming out and participating in all the activities and things that are going on. The food that's out there, all the kids' activities. Some of the tents will have raffles going on. Like I know, one's going to have a night at the hotel and dinner and all that.
Right,
so they'll have all kinds of raffles going on.
Sure.
We have I have a LuLaRoe team out there. I have Tupperware team. I've got all kinds of different teams out there that are going to be doing different things.
Okay.
So it's just come out and
Right.
And just to let you know though, last year it did run till 6 a.m. This year it's only running till midnight.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So just so people know that it's not. Usually it's an all-night event from good darkness to light.
Correct.
But for this year we're going till midnight.
Okay. All right. Now, what time? I know you mentioned about people setting up. I think starting around noon or so the day of. What time do they need to be? Because obviously we got to get everybody out of there as well.
Right.
So what time are you looking to do that? Considering, like you said, it ends at midnight.
I mean, as far as after the event is done?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. But we'll be out of there. We have a couple of fun ways to get things cleaned up pretty quick. But it probably doesn't take but an hour or so to get everybody out there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
We want them to stay the whole time.
Of course. Right,
so
right,
if
right,
everyone leaves at 12, we'll be okay with that.
I understand.
Of course, we have karaoke after Luminaria ceremony, so everybody's got to stay in karaoke too.
Very good. Very good. Well, Tara, you mentioned about with ACS, looking both nationally, statewide, and locally as well, what the organization does. And certainly, we talked about it's not a race with the relay, but it is a race for a cure, really, here. But you talk about that aspect of things, and also the education component, and all the work, and the just the impact ACS, I should say, has on the cancer community in that sense. If you could just talk a little bit more about that, and especially here in Hampton Roads, as far as maybe, because I know relay is not the only thing that ACS does, but it's one of the main things, and obviously it's a great way to get the community to come together, to really pinpoint, to work together, again, to find a cure, to help raise money to do that. But just talk about what ACS does in Hampton Roads, in Suffolk, in the nation, if you will, to really make a difference here where we're talking about cancer and cancer.
The 1-800 number, it's whatever they need, whatever questions they have, whatever resources they may need. I called the other day and asked a question because one of the volunteers had a question, and they pulled it up in no time and gave me an answer. So I think that's one of the best resources that people may.
If I can interject, we had one example was a little boy that when he found out his mother was diagnosed with cancer, he was, he didn't understand that whole process and everything. So he actually got on that phone and talked to somebody, and they walked him through and made him feel better about how he could help his mom do some things, because he didn't know how to help her.
Correct.
So this 800 number was just a way for him to contact someone to talk to find out ways that he could help his mom. So it's a benefit to not only the cancer patients, but to family as well.
That's right.
Yeah. So I just think it's super easily accessible. Everyone can call it from, a few other programs we have our Road to Recovery program. So that provides transportation to cancer patients to and from treatment. For those who can't afford the gas for it, for those who just feel physically ill, like they can't drive to it. We have volunteers that sign up. It's completely based on your schedule. So say you don't work on Tuesdays or something like that. So you sign up, you say that you're available all day on Tuesday, and then they will, ACS, the upper ACS, who runs everything, will connect you with a patient that you can drive to and from treatment. And whether you drop them off and wait with them, or you drop them off, run some errands, pick them up, I just think it's such a great resource to have. And like I said, that can be locally done. And we encourage people to sign up to
Suffolk really needs drivers.
To be Road to Recovery drivers. And like I said, it's easy. You can find more about it by going to www.cancer.org.
Because we'd hate for a patient not to go get a chemo treatment just because they didn't have a ride to where they needed to be.
Another one would be our Look Good, Feel Better program. And when I actually interned at ACS before I worked here, but I actually got the opportunity to see a training for going into the Look Good, Feel Better program. It's for women who have experienced cancer. So maybe they don't have hair, they weren't too keen on makeup anymore. So like people are trained. So hairdressers, makeup artists, whatever. They can volunteer to run a class of how to do makeup, how to wrap turbans, how to wear wigs, everything. Each participant with cancer is given a full set of makeup. It's worth like $200. It's like really nice makeup.
Right.
It's matched to their skin tone and everything.
Sure.
And they're shown how to use everything in that bag. And maybe cancer has an effect on their nails, or they don't have eyebrows, so they need to learn exactly how to draw on their eyebrows or put on fake lashes.
Yes.
That is what that program is there to do.
Good.
And like I said before, when I interned, I saw a training for it, and they really do train each person who's going to be running the program directly for people with cancer. Like, this is exactly how they need to do this, because it may be different than usual.
Right. And I think in addition to the programs, the education, as far as you talked about the 800 number and the impact that has, and I think if someone finds out they or someone they know is diagnosed with cancer, regardless of what type, it's sort of the what now, what happens tomorrow, what happens the day after that. And I think to have that resource where you can get a hold of someone that has the information, that understands what you're going through, regardless of what your relationship is to the patient or if it's you yourself, the fact that you have someone that can listen and give you that information and be there for you, I think is a really big impact. And you talked about the young man. How old was he again?
He was like 8.
8.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think that would happen, but that situation did. And I'm sure that's replayed time and time again nationwide when you talk about the impact. But again, it's just a phone number. And like you said, anybody can dial it. But again, you never know what that resource is needed for, or what information you can glean from that conversation that could really make an impact on yourself or the person you're providing care for, or just someone that you know, so you can relate and help them maybe answer a question that they were too afraid to ask or unsure about. So I think that's great.
Right.
Really good. So again, we want to highlight, we talked about off the top of the program, Suffolk's Relay for Life, May 19th, Nansemond River High School, from 6 p.m. till midnight. And again, if people want to take part, be it as an individual or as a team, plenty of opportunities still to do that. We'll have that URL up on the screen where they can go to get on the online application, or again, you said you can download some paper forms if you want to. We'll put that number up one more time, again, the 800 number, so that again, if you have a question or whatever, want to do that, or if you had a question about Relay, as you noted as well. So again, a great thing, but we just have a couple minutes left, so real quick, last pitch. So we got 2 minutes to go. I'm wasting time, and I'm going to set it up here. But the fact, I want to give you both one more opportunity to get people to come out to participate in Relay for Life on the 19th. Dana?
All right. You want you or?
You lead off. Yeah. Go right to the camera. There she is over there.
So I just say, come out, have a good time, enjoy all the things that we've worked hard to put together for this event for the last 6-8 months. Show everybody in our community that is suffering from cancer right now, or is trying to recover from cancer, that we are here for them, and that we are not going to stop until a cure is found. And this is just a great way to do that and show them they were out there. They'll feel that energy, they feel that hope, and they really appreciate all that we do for them. So come out and show support for them.
Tara?
I mean, Dana pretty much
I'm going to cry. Stop now. Okay.
She pretty much said it all.
Yes.
I mean, it's an amazing event. It raises money for an amazing cause. Come out and show support. It's for your community. So.
Yep.
Community event. It doesn't get any more local than this. Again, May 19th, Nansemond River High School, the Suffolk Relay for Life. A great event, great people behind it. So ladies, I appreciate your time today.
Well, I appreciate you having us out.
No problem. Looking forward to a big turnout on the 19th.
Looking forward to it.
Very good.
All right.
That would do it for this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. We'll see you next time.